Donald Trump is on a roll with Pam Bondi being confirmed today. What at a tremendous moment, an exciting moment for the U.S. and everybody in America. It's a great day. And also he's on fire because it looks like we've uncovered some things with the USAID, and I guess Politico had something to do with that. So we're going to get back into that, and we're going to uncover some things and just cover some live news, and we're just excited that you are here. So let's jump in at the Political Pulpit.
And that the church would find new zeal and commitment to the mission and purpose of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
You're a liar! You're a liar!
Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart.
It's that time again, ladies and gentlemen, for the Political Pulpit. I am your host, Josh Navarrete, and it's so good to be back on the program. Before we begin, you know what to do. Get on YouTube, Rumble, or Facebook, and make sure you like or share. On YouTube, you can subscribe and hit that notification bell, and that way we can continue to break through the algorithm and let the world know we are here and we're not going anywhere. With your help as becoming a political partner, pulpit partner, you can go to www.politicalpulpit.com/partner. And then you can also use that to donate a one-time donation or become a partner, a monthly partner. Also, big thank you to Blinkbed at blinkbed.com. And we've got great reviews and a lot of good things to say about the mattress that we are sponsored by, because this is the only mattress that is certified by the American Arthritis Foundation. And it has all the great technology that the expensive mattresses have, but at a way discounted price. It's made perfectly just for you, and I promise you, you're going to feel like you're sleeping on a cloud. Just use Pulpit24 at www.blinkbed.com and get an exclusive 10% off an already amazingly priced mattress, because it's manufactured right here in Arizona, and we already know all the tariffs that are happening overseas, so it's good to have American-made products right here in the USA. So let's get into it. There's a lot of news to cover, and today we're dedicating today's episode just to get you what's happening in the world today. So President Trump is thrilled to announce Pam Bondi as Attorney General of the United States. This is huge. It didn't go without a fight, of course, but because we have the majority in the Senate and the House, all things went well, and it looks like she is excited to get to work and uncover a lot of corruption, and that's already happening without her being in office. Here's the first moment we have today. It's Pam Bondi sworn in as Attorney General. Let's take a look at this.
This is a great honor and a real privilege. I'm thrilled to be here today with our nation's next incredible, and she will be incredible, Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi. And I want to congratulate Pam. She's worked hard, so hard, and unbelievably fair and unbelievably good at law enforcement. I just want to congratulate you. Very special person. This is a
great day as American, because there has been a lot of stuff going on, and it's good to start the week off with Pam Bondi being sworn in. There's another video here as she's being sworn in by Justice Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, which we all love. Clarence Thomas, right? Let's take a look at this.
I, Pamela Bondi, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation.
Without any mental reservation.
Or purpose of evasion.
Or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully.
And that I will well and faithfully.
Discharge the duties of the office on which I'm about to enter.
Discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
All right, so congratulations to Miss Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi. We are excited to see all that happens with law and order because it's about time that America gets back to law and order. It's been 4 long, drawn-out years of lawfare and attacks against political opponents, and now we're going to get back to seeing people or criminals being prosecuted the way they should. I think it's about time because, to be quite honest with you, we have been seeing a ton of corruption being uncovered. One of the things that Attorney General Bondi moves to defund sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities have been fully funded by our government. They're taking in immigrants, housing immigrants, illegal immigrants, and offering tons of resources for them. Right here, this article says, on her first day as Attorney General, Pam Bondi has ordered the Department of Justice to halt federal funding for 220 sanctuary cities. This directive aims to address cities that resist federal immigration enforcement. Legal challenges and significant local impacts are anticipated due to this policy, with cities like San Francisco bracing for potential financial strain. So it doesn't make sense that cities are receiving government funding when they don't want to abide by the federal law. So it looks like this is what's going to happen. The money's going to go away, and they're going to be forced to do something about it. I'm sure there's going to be tons of litigation, but it's okay. I mean, this is what needs to happen. Benny Johnson says, breaking: Attorney General Pam Bondi has ordered the Department of Justice to cut off a federal funding to sanctuary cities. What a powerful first move. I absolutely love it. I think it's great, and it's exciting to see all that's happening already the first day. It looks like, and it seems like, everybody that President Trump has put in office is not afraid to work. It's exactly what we needed. It's exactly what this country needs, is people that are ready to work on day one. And Attorney General Pam Bondi is ready to work. Let's take a full screen look at this. This is Pam Bondi speaking to everyone in the Oval Office.
I will restore integrity to the Justice Department, and I will fight violent crime throughout this country and throughout this world and make America safe again. Thank you. I will restore integrity to the Justice.
She's ready to restore America and law and order, and I'm all for it. We're super excited. Take a look at the conservative patriot that posted on Twitter. It says, "What an upgrade." This guy, oh man, it makes me so mad. But anyway, we won't get into that. I'm hoping maybe there's an investigation to some of his nonsense that they had there going on, and we'll see what happens. So on the White House, let's jump over to Caroline Leavitt, who briefs the White House today. We're going to just play her opening statement, and so we could see all that's been happening within the last week. It was a fiery press briefing, let me tell you. So let's go ahead and play a little bit of that.
Is back. This week further demonstrated that the Trump effect is real. Over the weekend, Americans celebrated the return of American-Israeli citizen Keith Siegel and 2 Israelis who were held captive by Hamas terrorists since October 7th, 2023. President Trump and his administration worked diligently to secure their release and are committed to freeing all remaining hostages. Yesterday, as you all know, President Trump held his first foreign meeting at the White House with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And as the president said, the bonds of friendship and affection between the American and Israeli people have endured for generations and are absolutely unbreakable. The president is committed to eliminating Hamas and securing a lasting peace for the entire region. The historic proposal for the United States to take over Gaza, announced by President Trump last night, underscores this commitment. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. President Trump is an outside-of-the-box thinker and a visionary leader who solves problems that many others, especially in this city, claim are unsolvable. We've already seen the results from President Trump's bold peace-through-strength diplomacy on the world stage. In response to President Trump's tariffs this week, both Mexico and Canada took immediate steps to alleviate the illegal alien migration and flow of deadly drugs, particularly fentanyl, into our country. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum agreed to permanently supply 10,000 Mexican soldiers on the U.S. border who will be specifically designated to stopping fentanyl and criminal aliens from pouring into our country. And Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau agreed to appoint a fentanyl czar, list cartels as terrorists, and increase resources to assist the 10,000 frontline personnel at our northern border with Canada. In recognition of these steps, President Trump paused the implementation of tariffs for 1 month while negotiations continue and final deals can be structured. Throughout the transition and during his inaugural address, President Trump made it known that the United States cannot and will not allow the Chinese Communist Party to continue with its effective and growing control over the Panama Canal. Following Secretary Rubio's successful first trip and visit there over the weekend, Panama's president said he will allow its participation in the Chinese Communist Party's, it will no longer allow the participation in the Belt and Road Initiative. That participation will expire. This is significant because Panama was the first Latin American nation to join Belt and Road and now becomes the first to back away from it because of President Trump. And to assist with the ongoing mass deportation effort, El Salvador's president has agreed to the most unprecedented migratory agreement anywhere in the world. Because President Trump is back in charge, El Salvador has offered for illegal aliens of any nationality facing deportation in the U.S. to be booked in his country's prison system. And finally, President Trump's envoy for special missions, Rick Grenell, traveled to Venezuela and not only secured the release of 6 American hostages, but Venezuela also agreed to accept the return of illegal alien Tren de Aragua gang members. All of these incredible victories prove how well President Trump's peace-through-strength approach is working. And the days of weak American leadership are over. In another success story this week, efforts to seal the border, halt the invasion, and carry out the largest mass deportation campaign continue at lightning speed. Customs and Border Protection has approximately 79 miles of new border wall projects already underway in various stages of construction and planning.
Stop there. It's a lot of stuff going on. Some of the things that do stand out for me when it comes to illegal immigration is that countries are now starting to work with us. There's been arguments that Mexico had 15,000 troops there of their own at one point in the last 4 years, but now we only have 10. I think that number is skewed. That's been reported on CNN saying that President Trump is, or the White House is exaggerating the Mexico's efforts to work with the United States. However, that was over time. This is all at once. The Mexico government has agreed after the threat of tariffs, and I think it's time that America continues to show strength in that arena, and we are. The other thing I want to make mention to, because I keep getting comments about it, how basically the protests, we're going to call them protests, that are going on in our streets. We just had them here in Arizona the other day. What's unbelievable to me is that you're going to wave Mexican flags the exact place that you don't want to go to. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
The world. Some breaking news from this morning.
Excuse me. I had accidentally clicked a button there. But why would you wave Mexican flags on American streets? And this is the exact place that you fled and you don't want to go back to. The other thing is, because of the new way of following the law of the land, I would think you'd want to be careful with how you break the law, because if you get prosecuted or if you break the law now while you're protesting or doing your antics on the streets, you have a very high chance of getting deported, especially if you're marching the streets breaking. I mean, I'm not saying they are. It looks like everything's generally peaceful except closing down freeways. But you would think you'd be, you'd be afraid to get arrested or caught, and then all of a sudden you're deported. The other thing is to remember is that they're going after high-level criminals. These are people that are bad people, and they're going to Guantanamo Bay. They're going back to their countries. Countries are accepting them back. But if you're with other people that are immigrants and they're not following the law, or they're just, in the vicinity, it's called collateral damage. You're going to get picked up. And I know people are up in arms about it and they're not happy about it. But the problem is that what do you think is going to happen? And somebody posted a video the other day of this daughter saying bye to their mom because she was being deported. Well, that's same thing happens in America. If you break the law, you're going to leave your family and go to prison. It's the same thing. I don't know why they make it seem like it's so sad. Although it's sad, it's tragic. Anytime families get split up, especially when they're Americans and you break the law and you go to prison. It's a sad thing for your kids. It's no different. If it happens to Americans, it's definitely going to happen to immigrants. Take a look at this video because there's been some uncovering of U.S. dollars through the USAID, who's been funding media outlets. I didn't even know that was a thing. I mean, how did we get some of that money? But anyway, I'm just kidding. Let's find out what this is all about.
I was made aware of the funding from USAID to media outlets, including Politico, who I know has a seat in this room. And I can confirm that the more than $8 million taxpayer dollars that have gone to essentially subsidizing subscriptions to Politico on the American taxpayers' dime will no longer be happening. The DOJ team is working on canceling those payments now. Again, this is a whole of government effort to ensure that we are going line by line when it comes to the federal government's books. And this president and his team are making decisions across the board on, do these receipts serve the interests of the American people? Is this a good use of the American taxpayers' money? If it is not, that funding will no longer be sent abroad, and American taxpayers will see significant savings because of that effort. Thank you. I was made aware.
They are just finding this out, and it's all coming down. Crazy thing happened as well as that issue is that they missed payroll today. Politico got discovered, and then all of a sudden there's no payroll for their employees. There was this letter that went out from the owners saying, we understand how terrible this is, but we'll get down to it, claiming it's some sort of technical issue. Well, I think they're probably freaking out because they're not going to get all the money they're expecting to have. Benny Johnson just tweets out today, Caroline Leavitt announces DOJ is cutting all funding to political and other media outlets funded by USAID. The DOJ team is working on canceling those payments right now. So what she said in this last video, they're literally going line by line, which is huge, line by line. And that's great. I love it. And that's probably what every company goes through anyway. Why wouldn't the U.S. government do the same? We're overtaxed. We're taxed on income. We're taxed on goods. We're taxed on property. And then we're taxed on retirement. We're taxed on tax. We get double, triple taxed. And all this money that goes to the federal government, they're spending it on DEI initiatives, apparently political media outlets that are anti, I guess, Republicans. They're biased, and so all these things need to be dealt with. It's a matter of time. President Trump did something kind of interesting the other day. Actually, it was yesterday, and we're going to pull that up in a second. Before we do, I want to remind you all that you can become a partner to the Political Pulpit. So if you go to www.politicalpulpit.com, I want you to do two things. Visit two areas of the website. One, of course, get your news. But if you can go to /partner, you can donate a one-time donation, be a blessing, sow a seed. We're trying to get and bridge faith in politics with breaking through the barrier, breaking through those, they're not norms, they should be the norm, right? We should be able to have these conversations, but there's got to be a biblical worldview to things, especially if you're a Christian and you believe in the gospel of Jesus Christ, and you believe that we were put on this earth to govern, to rule, and to have dominion. we should be able to influence government. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring a biblical worldview with the world's events, and especially in this nation and all the things that happen, while bringing you biblical principles. So to bring on guests and to bring on different conversations and to different types of media that it costs, it's a lot of resources that we need. It's a lot of sweat equity that's going on in this particular media house, but we're building from the ground up. But we know that we're commissioned and we believe that God has called us to do this. And so we're pressing forward, but we couldn't do it without your help. First of all, thank God for BlinkBed and BlinkBed.com, but also for our partners that have signed in immediately. They jumped on right away, and they're helping us get this message out. And I couldn't thank you enough. And so I'm thanking you so much for becoming a partner. Go to politicalpulpit.com/partner, be a one-time donor, or become a monthly subscriber, and we would greatly appreciate your efforts and help in that area. The second thing is sign up for our newsletter. We're sending out weekly newsletters on the news that comes in, and we put it together and put it out for you and give it to you based off of the way we see it and report it with facts. And by doing that, you can also help us get the word out and sign up for the newsletter. So enough of the housekeeping. Let's get back to President Donald Trump's statements the other day about the U.S. taking over Gaza Strip. That seems absolutely crazy, but as a matter of fact, I think it shocked Israeli Prime Minister Ben Netanyahu. I didn't say that correctly, but you know what I'm talking about. Let's take a look.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years. The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip.
I think he kind of shocked the world by saying this. I feel like he even shocked the Prime Minister there. And it's a couple ways to take this. President Donald Trump just says it boldly, unapologetically, and it just says it how he sees it. But it's always misinterpreted several ways, and angles come from all over, especially when it comes to the media. But what I think we are saying here, what the president is saying, is that it's in ruins right now, and the United States can come in and make it livable again and actually profitable for the people in the region. Right now, there was a question that was asked, should people be allowed to come back? And I think I have a reporter here that says, you're talking tonight about the U.S. taking over a sovereign territory. What authority would allow you to do that? Are you talking about a permanent occupation? Trump says, I do see a long-term ownership position. He basically wants to take over the region that's in ruins and make it a livable space, and people would be able to come back and live a great life. I actually don't see anything wrong with it. I think it's probably not in the Prime Minister's best interest. I think it totally shocked him. I feel like President Trump used this as a negotiating tack to do it in the public and surprise him and give him that wow factor, I guess, to kind of let him know that he means business. Let's take a look at what this reporter says.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Prime Minister. You are talking tonight about the United States taking over a sovereign territory. What authority would allow you to do that? Are you talking about a permanent occupation there, redevelopment? And Mr. Prime Minister, do you see this idea as a way to expand the boundaries of Israel and to have a longer peace, even though the Israeli people know how important that land is to you and your citizens, just as the space is inherited by the Palestinians as well?
I do see a long-term ownership position, and I see it bringing great stability to that part of the Middle East and maybe the entire Middle East. And everybody I've spoken to, this was not a decision made lightly. Everybody I've spoken to loves the idea of the United States owning that piece of land, developing and creating thousands of jobs with something that will be magnificent.
So there you have it. I think he says it's going to be a long term. Obviously, you need to put millions and millions of dollars in infrastructure. First of all, clean up, eradicating Hamas. There's a lot to figure out. Does it mean expanding Israeli occupation? I don't know. I don't know what that means. But what does that mean in biblical prophecy? Is there a way where somebody is going to try to bring peace in the Middle East by taking over the Gaza Strip? I don't know. It's an interesting take. I don't think it's going to be as easy. I think Iran's going to be uncomfortable with it. Terrorist groups are going to be uncomfortable with it. And there's going to be some serious fight in opposition to it. And I don't think we can ignore it. Here's a look at the Prime Minister's face. It's like he heard it for the first time. Take a look at this.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years. I'm hopeful that this ceasefire could be the beginning of a larger and more enduring peace that will end the bloodshed and killing once and for all. With the same goal in mind, my administration has been moving quickly to restore trust in the alliance and rebuild American strength throughout the region. And we've really done that. We're a respected nation.
Well, we are a respected nation. I think the Prime Minister there was a little bit confused and surprised. I don't blame him. Netanyahu, he was a little bit taken by it. There was a meeting here. Let's take a look at the meeting they had. It was about, this is about a 28-second long clip, but let's take a look. Let's see here.
Well, I don't think they're going to tell me no. I don't think they're going to tell me. I think they're going to tell Biden no, and I think they're going to tell no.
So you think it will happen at the end?
I think there's a good chance, yeah.
How many people are you thinking about?
All of them. I mean, we're talking about probably 1.7 million people, 1.7 million, maybe 1.8 million. But I think all of them, I think they'll be resettled in areas where they can live a beautiful life and not be worried about dying every day. Well, I don't think they're going to.
So this is where people will make this sound like it's ethnic cleansing. Even this guy writes right here, breaking during his meeting with Netanyahu, Trump said he wants to remove 1.7 million Palestinians from Gaza and send them to Egypt, Jordan, or other countries. Says this is ethnic cleansing. No wonder he just pulled the U.S. from the UN Human Rights Council. This is a crime. What's ethnic cleansing is that people are dying and starving in the area right now because it's oh my gosh, I can't talk. They can't live there. Sorry about that. They can't live there. And because, the buildings are destroyed and the economy is destroyed, but they're under control and under siege by Hamas. And so what else could we do? I think it's probably a better idea to stabilize the region. I don't think they're just going to all, move everybody out, but it's not, you can't live there the way it is. And so that's what they'll need to do. I mean, it's completely, beyond my pay grade on figuring out how that's going to happen. But we can only pray for the president and the people of the region. Yes, the people that are innocent, the dying children, the starving children, it's so sad. It's so sad to see. But maybe there's a better opportunity allowing countries to take them in and live a better life. And then if they want to migrate back when the place is rebuilt, there's an option. I mean, why not? On a lighter note, it looks like, well, it's not that much lighter because, it is somebody that's falling down in the Senate, and that's Mitch McConnell. He is way past due. He's Biden 2.0 on the Republican side. He falls twice at the Senate, and of course, public is concerned, and concern grows. It says here on X, on February 5th, 2025, Senator Mitch McConnell, age 82, reportedly fell downstairs at the U.S. Capitol after participating in a Senate vote to confirm Scott Turner as HUD Secretary. McConnell was assisted by Senators Steve Daines and Mark Wayne Mullen, following the fall. While some posts and reports expressed concern over his health and capability to serve, details about the extent of his injuries remain unclear. McConnell has been spotted in a wheelchair post-incident, prompting public discussion on his health and tenure. We know that McConnell has had freezing moments, awkward moments. I mean, he'll stand in front of press and just look you dead in the face. Somebody's standing there, but somebody is not physically home. And I think it's time that we move on. When you are at that point where you could barely serve just showing up, then it's time that we figure out a way to move on from Mitch McConnell. He's a bit of a rhino, if you ask me. I don't know much about why he does the things he does and opposes a lot of the Trump Republicans. But the point is, he's probably got several bureaucrats and lobbyists in his pocket, or vice versa, or he's in, this is how this goes. And this is part of the cleansing process. And if age and healthy bodies can't do it, then we need to move on. Benny Johnson says breaking Senator Mitch McConnell has reportedly fallen down the stairs again as he was leaving the Senate today. It's time to retire. And there you have it. He looks like he's retirement age. He'd probably live a better life at home, vacationing with his family and being a grandpa and a husband or whatever the situation is at home. That's all the news that we have today. It was so good to be live with you all. I want to remind you all to join us at politicalpulpit.com/partner. Become a partner, support us, and help us get the message out. We also want to remind you of blinkbed.com with Pulpit24 being your promo code for an already great priced mattress. You can get 10% off. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We'll be back next week. We'll be going to send some more content out in the next few days, but we'll be back. Thank you so much for joining us. God bless.